Welcome, guys. This is D. Durrell with the Black Balance Network. Also, I am simulcasting with Twitch and also on D. Durrell Life Solutions. Appreciate each and every one of you for coming in today at this moment. I decided to do another live stream today. Haven't done a live stream from the Black Balance Network in a while, so I felt that it was appropriate at this time to create some content to increase that library over there. My brother BMT has been doing his thing here and so on. And so I've decided to do some content to talk about some things in regard to the word simp. I'm going to talk about the word itself because the word basically derived in the late 1800s to early 1900s, meaning simpleton, and that's basically a man that basically was patronizing prostitutes. That's simply what it means. In 2020, in the 2000s, it has taken a different form in which it applies to men who just merely are taken advantage of by women through wanting to use their financial means to obtain a woman's attention, whether it's sexual or non-sexual. So I was basically reviewing trending topics throughout YouTube and throughout other media sources, and I ran upon this particular video. This particular article on CNN Health by a guy by the name of Tony Ward. It was actually created yesterday, and it said the new slang teens use to insult boys who are too nice, quote unquote, to girls. And I'm like, wow. The new slang teens use to insult boys who are too nice to girls. You're a simp if you're too nice. And so when I saw that, I'm like, wow. Red pill ideology surfacing through mainstream America. Now, simp is a word that has been around a long time. I remember Too Short used the word simp back in the late 80s, early 90s in his music. I've seen pimps use this word. But in the manosphere, it's taken a different turn in which it applies to just men simply being polite and nice to women. And these are men who don't have a woman at all, that want you to be just like them. Miserable, sexless, asexual lives, and frustrated. Appreciate you for coming in, Ms. Verla Hatcher. Appreciate you for coming in. And so what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to read the article and talk about the issues in regards to this word and the phenomenon of a simp and how teens are using this word to insult boys who they think are too nice to women or to other teenage girls. Okay? So as follows. Gen Z teens and tweens likely pick up the use of a slang word simp from social media usage. So that it's apparent that this word has been said a lot in social media, which is true, particularly YouTube. So they're taking notice. Shannon was used to her social awkward son being bullied by other boys at the private school he attends in Atlanta. But when she picked him up from school in mid-January and her 8th grader told her he was being called a simp, Shannon, who's only using her first name to protect her son's identity, didn't know what to think. He's telling me this and I'm driving. I'm trying to make sense of it. She said, I'd never heard of the word. Obviously, Miss Shannon, most people haven't. He told me it basically means that I'm just being nice to girls because I like them, she said. I was like, wait, my kids is being picked on for being nice to girls? Yeah. Her son had told her he recently been put in the friend zone by one of the girls, who made it clear that she wasn't interested in dating him. They had continued to be friendly. You do all these things as a parent to raise your child right. You raise your kid right, to be nice to everyone, especially kids without many friends, Shannon said. And you never think that by making your kid the nice one, you could be making them a target for bullies. What is a simp? While many parents may be unfamiliar with the word simp, chances are your tween or teen has used or at least heard of the term. And they're saying that simp hashtags are rampant on TikTok. I was not aware of that. I was not aware of. I know of YouTube and I've seen it on Facebook a little bit, but not on. I've never been on TikTok. Instagram has over 350,000 posts tagged simp, and there are Facebook groups devoted to simps and simping. It can be a verb too. Yes, it can. Now they're going to use the Urban Dictionary, aka Negro Dictionary. Whenever they say urban, you know that means black. So the Urban Dictionary top definition of simp is someone who does way too much for a person they like. Other definitions on the cross-sourced online dictionary include a man who puts the hoes before bros. Oh my God. This is a nightmare. This is becoming a nightmare, man. I feel like the manosphere is just spewing over into every facet of life. And a guy that is overly desperate for a woman. That's obvious, especially if she is a bad person or has expressed her disinterest in him, which he continues to obsess over. Simp is slang for a person, typically a man who is desperate for the attention and affection of someone, especially someone else, especially a woman, said Connor Hallett, 23, a digital strategist of Turner PR in New York City, in an email to CNN. Think the energy of a puppy dog eyes, but manifested in a romantic human form, Howlett said. It's used in an insulting manner. Through typically playful, there are definitely undertones in toxic masculinity since it's related to showing too much emotion. Florida mother Karen McClung stated, first encountered the word in group chats she closely monitored with her 11-year-old daughter and 12-year-old son. I saw the word and quickly looked it up, said McClung, who lives in Tampa. I asked my kids what they thought it meant, and my son said it's basically if you had $1,000 and you could do anything with it. You'd use it to get the attention of a girl, then everyone would make fun of you. I blocked the thread, said McClung. While she said her son wasn't being called a simp in the thread, McClung said she's curious to see how it impacts my son because he's very chivalrous by nature. You're chivalrous at that age? I would have issues with that. A definition that's evolving as we look at it. A word that emerged from Gen Z vernacular from social media usage as simp is thought to have arrived is bound to get muddled and continue to evolve. And simp can have different contexts depending on the age group using it, said Laura Capinas, a clinical social worker at Sonoma County, California. Depending on if it's a middle schooler or a high schooler using it, it could be different, she said. And it's just not boys talking about simps and using simping either. Girls in high school sometimes throw out the term to their high school girlfriends, Capinas said. Some kids I've talked to have said it's not a derogatory term. It's sort of like teasing someone, like you've left us to go hang out with your friends. You're simping us. Okay. If you have been saying it, who's if you have someone saying it who's used to being a bully, it would be received as a bullying comment, she stated. While she wasn't while she hasn't heard kids or parents in her practice be overly concerned about the word, Capinas often hears kids use it in describing their day or their peer groups. Myra Fortson said she discussed the word with her 15-year-old daughter and thinks words like this often spread more quickly than their meaning. Kids will also own their language by refusing to go back into the original meaning, said the Tampa, Florida mother of three. They will say things like, maybe that's where it comes from, but it doesn't mean that anymore. And they keep using the term the way that they want. Actually, yeah, people, because I know for a fact in this space, simping, that's the word simp goes a long way. Everybody uses the goddamn word. I mean, let me look in the chat. I see Vera Hatcher. I also see Miss Carolyn Rowe. Shout out to you. Miss Carolyn is saying, and kids start No Simp September last year with the promise they would be called out for it. More ways for unhealthy little boys to shame him. I guess shame. Hey, I don't know. To shame each other. Okay. Then so what I'm saying is that kids are using simp as far as with bullying. They're using it as far as shaming young boys, and then girls are also using it. That's how it's evolving. And bullying is used to climb the social ladder. In high school, TikTok originated the no simp thing. Oh, wow. She's not familiar with that. Also, Carolyn Lowe stated the manosphere is unhealthy in every part to an unhealthy relationship. It's cancer, syphilis to healthy people, draws in angry people and confused people. Correct. I do agree with that. So this is kind of examples of how they tactically use the word itself. Now, tactics for diffusing are tense situations. One way to think of a simp, said Sean Davis, a marriage and family therapist in Sacramento, California, is simply someone who is ahead of their time. Though it hurts in the moment, in the big picture, a boy who is called a simp can wear it as a badge of honor. I may have to disagree with that. Today's boys are being raised in the middle of the biggest redefinition of male gender role in recent history, David said. Should I be kind and sensitive or distant and aloof when trying to win a partner over? As with all bullying, teens and tweens should first tell their parents or a trusted adult who may be able to intervene on their behalf, he said. Otherwise, simply owning it and refusing to be ashamed can help. It is important for parents to remember that they have always been new slang. There's always been new slang terms to navigate for kids and parents alike. Capina said, the goal is to make sure it is being received in a playful manner and being playfully. I think that we always look up to stop our kids from being hurt, she said. We don't like language that's slang and has potential for negative connotation. One tactic she teaches kids in her therapy session, she said, is the humor tool. It's comic relief. You practice not putting down the other person. You put down the situation. If someone is being called out for always simping the girls, Canopus said, he could turn he can turn around and say it's tough being the lone soldier, simp nice guy who wants to join me. You can turn it and make it into a comedy, she said. Davis pointed to a similar approach, telling the bully that's right while holding your head up high and walking away can help, as bullies usually give up if they don't succeed in tearing the other person down, he said. And you can tell yourself that being bullied is simply the price of a revolutionary. A revolutionary has to pay for standing up for what's right. Shannon said that her son's therapist advised similar tactics, but the boy said he only comes up with the perfect retort 3 hours later. It's just been really heartbreaking, especially because I know a lot of these boys bullying. He's been at the school since second grade. Shannon said if their mom knew, they'd be horrified. But my son doesn't want me to tell them because it will just get worse. So what I'm saying is that um at this point, the word is also turned into a bullying tactic. I have never had a kid come to me that used that term, nor have they talked about the term, mostly adults, nor have they ever used the term as it relates to someone bullying. It's usually been used in a way that signifies an issue with men obtaining attention from women. And the fact that they're using a method that is not deemed appropriate by other men. Now, Carolyn is talking about the unhealthiness of the manosphere, which I agree, because the manosphere is basically an environment where there are a lot of men who are angry, frustrated, and asexual. There are a lot of men who have actually had negative interaction or unwanted interaction with the female counterpart, and they harbor around this platform in order to express the issues that they have. And they have an echo chamber of others who've had similar situations. So Carolyn says healthy love of self negates anything. It can bother, but in the end, healthy people are drawn to each other as tragic is to tragic. Yes, like-minded people tend to attract each other. They're more compatible. What I teach in these situations is for kids. I don't teach tactics. I mean, I use comedic tools and so forth and humor. But what I teach kids in this situation that are being bullied is not, and even adults, I work on people not valuing the opinions of others above their own. I use cognitive methods to help people understand, particularly children or even young adults who are older who have issues of people saying negative things about them. The key is that you have to learn to value and have self-esteem building, that you don't allow other people's opinions to shape your emotions and your behavior. We work on ignoring, we work on valuing your own perception of yourself. Okay? It's about self. A person that is confident and healthy within themselves will not allow others to take that away from them. They will do whatever it takes for themselves in order to keep their self-respect and self-worth. In all essence, if I'm in a situation or kids is in a situation where kids are telling them, you're weird, you're ugly, you're this and that. If you're a person that within yourself are confident and you don't care about what other people think and you know that you're not what other people want you to be, you're going to dismiss that. You're not going to acknowledge it. You don't need the validation of others. You don't need the validation of others in order to feel good about yourself. You simply need you to internally incentivize yourself in knowing that you're a good person. Incentivize the fact that I'm a good person because I think so, and those who care about me also think so. And therefore, I am not going to honor nor value the opinions of those that are not important in my life. So I want to allow other children that, hey, they're not my friend, they're not my relative, I'm not dating you. Why should I give a damn whether or not you care if I wear ugly clothing or I'm weird? Your opinion is irrelevant and it has no value. So go ahead and make fun of me all you want. Go ahead and do this and do that. It's not going to hurt me. You're only making yourself look stupid. And that's the truth. What's up, Josh the Pepper? Verla Hatcher said, I needed to hear that today. She said, I've been experiencing low self-esteem issues all my life. Self-esteem can be grown from the fact of you learning to identify positive things about yourself. And you're constantly assessing more and more positive things about yourself. And it is validated by those who benefit from those positive attributes. Everybody is not going to like you. Not everybody is going to value you. Matter of fact, most people are going to be blind to how good you really are, Verla. But that's not your job to convince them that. If they can't see it on their own, that's their problem. It's not your job to convince other people to like you. It's your job to be who you naturally are in your true self. And it's up to them to accept whether or not they want to be a part of that or not. Far too often, we as human beings tend to go out of our way to impress people that don't care about you and don't like you. And they mean you no well. No good. I'm sorry. They mean you no good. And we have a need to want to be wanted and liked by others. But we have to ascertain whether or not the people that we are trying to convince to like us, how important or how meaningful are they in our lives? And particularly with children, the other kids in their neighborhood or in school that are bullying, these people are very minor in the realm of operating in their life. Therefore, you should not value what they say about you. I don't care. I don't give a damn what you think about me. It's facts. So Carolyn Lowe, certainly in high school and manosphere, too many fragile egos and unhealthy negative views. Yes. My technique is to restructure your thoughts about yourself. Ungo cognitive restructuring. That's basically when you replace negative ideas with positive ideas or logical ideas. You find the means to pick certain things about yourself, characteristics, and so on. It can start off with 2 or 3 things, and then you can build it to a bunch of other things. You cannot get everybody to like you, nor should everybody like you. It's impossible for everybody to like you. It is too emotionally exhausting to get people to like you. Be your true self, and those who are those who are congruent to your true self will attract to you. And therefore, in that interaction, you don't have to be anything outside of yourself. You can just merely naturally be your true self. The problem is that there's so many people who don't like who they are, pretend to be something that they're not, and the behavior that they engaged in that is actually a facade attracts people that are not really people they should be around in the first place. And the reason why is because you're not truly being who you are. Carolyn, I have practiced mirror therapy before, and the use with positive self-talk and positive affirmations. I don't use those type of techniques as much anymore, but I have used that before, but not that often. You have to continue to be yourself. And I spoke of that. I think in it's 30 to 45 days of positive reinforcement to your reflection. Verla said, D, you are in my head. I'm not trying to be in your head, Verla. I'm just basically, being a therapist, being my true professional self and focusing, I know, this channel is for me to self-help and to basically illustrate the therapist in me and so on. But the fact that every child in that article that I talked about had one thing in common. They valued the opinions of others as it relates to who they are. They cared more about what their peers said than what they thought about themselves. And that is the heart of the problem. It's not the fact that the kids use the term simp. It's the fact that you accepted the word to apply to you, even though it doesn't. And the sad thing about it is that, and I know these are children, but the fact of the matter is that you allowed other people to redefine how you were raised to be. They allowed other kids, and this is something that teenagers and they do. They kind of allow their peers to give them peer pressure and to basically tell them that they're not being cool. And it is natural for human beings to be wanted and valued by other people, but it should not be at the expense of you changing who you are to be accepted by others. No, I don't think so. Carolyn Lowe said, I wish more young men heard you. I know you speak truth and help. I try to, and women too. And I'm going to say this. In the manosphere, I am seen as an antagonist, a person that goes against the grain, a contrarian, because many of them know that what I'm saying is true. Many of them know that they cannot debate me because they don't have the training, education, nor the credentials and credibility to add to do so. So because they know they cannot say things more credible than me, they'll go in and say negative things about me. And I've been called a simp. I've been called a super simp. I've been called all types of words in the manosphere because they can out debate me on topics that they're not qualified to even have a discussion with me on. And I tell them that. And I am a bit arrogant and a bit dismissive towards them because I understand the true nature of their behavior. And I would not dare to acknowledge such low-end thinking and behavior from individuals. So yes, I take people off, make them upset. They call me names. And I didn't give a damn. And I still don't. And even to this day, when I do entrance to certain platforms that are in the space, certain ones that I've handpicked at this point, I can become very conflictual with people and I become even more aggressive because at this point now, I have come to the realization I cannot allow people to offend me without offending them and showing them that this is not going to be a D Durrell roasting session. No, 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 no. I clap back and they even get more upset. And once I do clap back, they start crying between their tail and between their legs. You're a therapist. You shouldn't be acting like that. Well, you're a grown ass mature man. You shouldn't be acting like that. Same applies. So we have to be aware, guys, that the term simp itself is used in different forms and in different ways. And the fact that children are looking at simp, the word simp, hey guys, I am back. I'm sorry I had an issue with the Wi-Fi. I don't know what the hell happened, but the Wi-Fi went out. And so I'm on my phone. Oh, it's something's happening with the internet. So I had a bit of an internet problem. So now I'm on my phone and that's basically what happened. I It's working on itself. I'm gonna give it a chance to work on itself. Another 5 to 10 minutes. But as we talk about the word simp, I wanted to point out, my purpose of the video was to point out how the word is being used within mainstream America and how it has taken on many different uh, forms and how it has applied to different situations and different behaviors. I can admit, guys, that I've used the term simp to guys in this in this space due to them saying it to me. But in my real life, I don't apply this term to anybody, to be honest with you. I really don't, because I don't see any significance and any positives of doing that. And so, um, for those that are new to my platform, again, please subscribe to D Durrell Life Solutions. You can also subscribe to the Black Balance Network. Also, D Durrell the Rebirth. Now, for those that continue to that are constantly in this space continuously, you will see that throughout this weekend, you're probably going to hear the word simp at least 100 or more times because it's a word that is used a lot. Actually, it's overly used. But my concern is that we're going to have a culture of Gen Zs and millennials who are going to begin to apply this word in areas in where it should not be applied to. It's actually going to be detrimental to the appropriate behaviors of young men and women who are just doing the right thing. And so, in essence, it will begin to delegitimize polite civil behavior. And in turn, kids are going to involve themselves in more delinquent, more negative behavior. And that's my concern. To be honest with you, the word itself to really spread like wildfire is just one hip hop song away. One hip hop song away from permeating throughout the American society and culture. I'm just waiting on one rapper to have a song called Simp or You Simping, Shake That Ass, You Simping, or something like that, or whatever else. I'll pay for it, simping. And before you know it, everybody globally going to be repeating the word itself. And then you're going to start seeing people who typically don't even use that type of slang using it, and they're going to make it into a word that is classically used in American vernacular. That's going to happen. It's just a matter of when. All right. It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. So, part of what I will be doing for D Durrell Life Solutions, again, this is a solution orientated, problem solving related platform that is not focused on the fuckery, but necessarily in ways in which we can resolve, assess, or better understand problematic behaviors in our community and in society itself, so that we can all live a more fruitful life and have better experiences, better outcomes as a whole. My channel itself is not going to be a channel that's basis is for emotional reactions, endless debate, and ignorant behavior. And I do welcome, guys, any feedback from anybody that is in the chat. If they have a question, whether it's a mental health question or a question that is related to the topic, you're more than happy to ask me. You're more than happy to ask me any mental health related question or any question related to the topic itself, and I'll be more than happy to respond. And I am happy to have this discussion with you. I am very happy to have this discussion, and I will continue to have many other discussions as it relates to these type of issues. And I'm going to say things that are going to be counter to things that you would hear on YouTube, because I'm not in the business on this channel to do and say popular things or to do and say things that are not clinically appropriate or professionally appropriate. I'm going to give the answers and solutions, or I will give a opinion that is factually based. The plain truth. You don't need to dress up the truth. There's no need to dress up the truth. There's no need to dress up the truth. State the truth for what it is. Simply that alone should be sufficient. So, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I appreciate you all for being here today. I appreciate everybody in here. I definitely want you all to get the likes up, to press the like button. I appreciate Verla Hatcher and Callan Rowe for being in the chat today. I know this is not particularly a topic just a little different from the other topics, but that's okay. We're gonna review a variety of different topics, all counseling or psychology related. So, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. It's been a pleasure. Didn't mean to be on here too long. I was looking at 35 to 45-minute live stream on this topic. I will be engaging in another live stream later today. I have to. Me and my son are going to a basketball game, so I'm going to be enjoying that. Other than that, guys, you have a great day. Peace.